An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done. It's a 3-Angong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifleman.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid. You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before...
The words, "I am an enemy."
And what rank would that be, dog? A big wheel of the 4th Regiment of the Pederast Army. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sound.
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made.
The right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily...
It doesn't matter if it was made in...
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Real music. Real Brilliant Kult. That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy.
You need to address that remark.
The job of a shitlicker. It is the anthem of the world revolution. 1 of 3. In Grad, they sang brave. Everyone has. They named a fucking perfume after it. Talk to her. God's shithouse. Should have taken. How did it go? Something about shooting rabbit.
He waves erratically with his... It was dear to him. He resents forgetting it.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my terminal surrender.
The Commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
No. I've been on other islands, too. I was an Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. 43 years and 10 months. It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget.
He just couldn't. He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting. For her to
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution. I am not a fool. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do. I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of... You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second is all it took for reaction to take hold. May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airship, the combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are...
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland. In the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most that the bourgeois are not human. I had to fight it. I had to never stop. How does anyone survive? I steal.
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. I haven't. I have holes in my... I don't even know what. Inferno? At least you know it. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. A so-called Lieutenant W. Freighter. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International. The enemies of humanity. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer.
A spray of blood from his mouth. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honor is a feudal atavism. No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party. Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar.
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
No, you're not. You're part of the meat shield. The human shield that surrounds the fascists while they kill and rape.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions.
The old man spits. There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just...
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a fact. I've used it for killing people.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. This is what you live for. The great serotonin, the solution. Going straight. No. Be careful now. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol.
Exhaust him with proof. The scent of blood in the air. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical...
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists, for fascists, just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem...
Forget about your stupid fucking scope.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is.
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. Jumping hoops for the lip. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. None of those people mean anything to you.
You're getting diverted. Push the gun. Oh,
So you watched the fight. Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all your doing, your plan. You got them killed.
You don't know anything.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? 4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder. You lost, what? You lost. Petty bourgeois law. This is all you care about?
a drop of blood in the salon. That's right. Pile it all on him now. 3 should do it. Maybe 4.
You lost, what? You lost.
For a 60-year-old man, he's prone to erratic hand gestures and clearly malnourished. But is what you plan to say before you can get past.
Officer, are we sure? We could maybe get more.
The old man looks. You startled him. Maybe it was the silence. He quickly. A drop of blood. That's right. Pile it all.
Stupid.
The lieutenant looks at. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. Your brain is rotting from the radio wave.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like. But still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
Standing there.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust. You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Дросом.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is called Sensory. You see their V-shaped logo. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the...
The size fits, but not the sole.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth out. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball work?
I may. Class, yeah. with the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what? And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man, not...
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Yes. Think of it as a form of...
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But...
This man has seen past her, like you did.
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skin.
Past the Feld building on the coast? What?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. Her passport and tickets to Villiers.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near...
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body, hard and lean and bruised up. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip-point knife. Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of Martinez. Every... Yes, that, too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. You'd turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting.
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in the hostel now after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. Closing hour is a good time.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope. There's nothing to hold on to.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know. No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do, and maybe, I told you, I have holes in my brain now. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes. One more down.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you. That's it. Motive.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days. Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring.
Across the water, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, made of grey cinder. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something, Special Consultant Heidelstein is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fort. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years?
A tragic comedy. Druggies.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put-put-put of hatred.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez, because of the racists, everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite pump full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by... Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamoran, or some other island. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only in the 30s.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center. Leave it only there was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a whorehouse. The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III...
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? No. Cynical design cockroaches like you erected a new, ironic version of it. We tore it down with honest. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every fucking morning for 34 years. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. His make and model. That one. Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and
Save the treat for later?
he is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day, the better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen... No. I waited too long. I waited too long and now he's dead?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now. Fuck it.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done.
Fuck you. You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days.
Glad we talked about what? What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The sum of all the erratic movements, fidgeting, and mood swings he's been exhibiting.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat. Not really. We could escort him to the pier.
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat?
What is this farce?
Lillian. You could ask her, maybe. There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. Something completely different. It sounds like a bow. Very slow.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this... Really?
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs, it's still there. An unfolding
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in there.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If you can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruder. Evening falls. The time is... The vows are blood and flesh. Lower intestine. Fascism, Bruder. Many things, but it's mostly quit stalling, Bruder. Yes, women, men of war. That's what fact. You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Bruder. There's a slow, painful growl somewhere. It is one of betrayal and... Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and 1 stroke. Don't be so modest. He's having one right now. The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before.
It is.
You glance over your shoulder.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden...
I won't be one of those fools who...
He's letting his pride get... You see the phasmid turn to him. Its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
I don't think the pheromone will do anything.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you. Its antennae taking their measure of the air. You smell... The creature tilts its tiny head to the side and appears to look at you. It is incredibly light. There is a sadness in there. Or is it in you? From the dream. It's still with you. The pitiful, hey, you told her. Even now. You barely get to take 1 step. The invertebrate, it's blending into the tufts of reeds in the...
Where? Where did it go? Looks like it doesn't like to stay out in the open for long.
He shakes his head in silence, an expression on his...
It's just a blur.
What?
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic...
Our suspect's not looking so good. We should check him over. It looks like it has some kind of nest there. Maybe there's proof.
In the reeds, where the phasmid was hiding, you see a little flash of...
What is it? What do you want from me?
Something is very wrong with him.
See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps still. A light shiver passes him.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is,
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and...
He stares into the reeds. Your word.
I lost.
He turns his eyes to the reeds again.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there, with the help of a magpie phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Дросом. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even. You've gotten all you... Nothing. Just dull staring. Not...
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he...
The plastic cape flaps around his face. The strength has all gone out of it.
Old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more that could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
No response.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, Mr. Dross, have you ever... The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than fit. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a...
He will have to be very convincing, and...
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here.
The skiff is swaying.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is 2 men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village. Looking at a small yellow boat, you reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you. That's right. And you're bleeding. Bothered by it. Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify,
We might need your help with something later.
as if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? Shit, kid. What an interesting moniker.
You. Shit kid? That's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went. Strange. He didn't mention that. In fact, the establishment didn't look saved at all. There was a giant aero graffito in front of the building. It was on fire. I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant?
The line is from Lord Giatun's Mirova 82, isn't it? About girl-child communism, the titular returning character to ghost the Afro...
He is correct. It was the Seraïs poet, Lou Giatun.
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Okay.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
Yes, I'm Trant Heilestam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heilestam. Mikael? Mikael's my son. No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikael wanted to see Martinez. Again. I was asked to share my take on some of the more fringe academic theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. For example, partial psych...
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on. Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells? Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trant fucking Heidelstam, and Guillaume baby.
I'm technically just a...
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show. Do? It's a Major Crimes Unit. We cleared the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
They're your posse, or what remains of it. Hand-picked, hand-lost.
The 41st isn't...
God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
It wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we? Oh, you think it was cool you saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here. Breaking things. You said we were going into the abyss. None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off. Like, god damn it, you told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. You were crying hysterical. None of us wanted to see the abyss. God damn, you told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping. Are you sure? So you haven't been telling everyone what a boring cop you are? And that you should kill yourself? People say you've been out of your mind. I asked around. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage, Detective God. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
And what is that?
That is what I thought, at first, that it was a fantasy. But I've seen him work. It's not. He really is experiencing something out of the ordinary. He really does not remember.
Lieutenant, I'm sorry, but you've been bewitched by the shit kid. It happens. I know it's hard to accept, but he made it all up. Because he's a psychopath. It's a simple explanation.
Detective Wigmer. He has blacked out before. We should take this seriously. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case. The other when we...
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful. The two cases in your ledger. The unsolvable case and the next. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it, hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
For now, I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension? Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips. You juggle the badge for a second. Ouch! You strained your elbow trying to catch that stupid thing.
He found it. He found it, Jean. It's his badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are What is it with all these material objects?
You lost your fucking gun?
You may have accidentally admitted.
This isn't cause for celebration.
I would say it's very bad, yes. You lost your service weapon while drunk. And we're not talking about the fucking gun anymore. We're talking about the vaporized cloud of ethanol coming from your mouth. I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then, huh?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself in the head, or the fact that you're Evra Claire's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Don't make this harder for yourself.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your...
On the case?
On Lieutenant Yofretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the boring cop issue. Despite all the obvious and almost grotesque mannerisms and sartorial choices, he still insists he isn't characteristic enough. It's odd, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a hustler. He grinds. He makes the real. He's a visionary. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vicmar, was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Okay, he did something.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also...
A new species?
A colossal stick insect, 3 meters tall. It's on the island, camouflage as the... I know this sounds fantastic, but I'm a 4 times decorated lieutenant of the RCM. I do not make up encounters with cryptids to spice up my day. I am very, very sane.
I don't doubt you, Lieutenant. If you say it was the Insulindian phasmid, then it was the Insulindian phasmid. By God, is it somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
We could order a search. I could get people from EPIS on the island, entomologists, doctors. There must be signs of it in the reeds. If we found the Insulindian phasmid, well, that would be absolutely...
There, you need to make your case now. The floor is all yours. He prepared it well.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory.
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Jealousy. I thought this Lilianovich was an old man, to have been hiding for 50 years, like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fascination, the result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work in bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It will pass in time.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church. That's great. Anthroponaut is a great new career for you. After police officer. I don't care. Go.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why? That's not what you were...
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time.
Who's Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink.
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the net?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After
Incredible. It's a toughie that you don't have a photo. This would look very, very flashy in the papers. None of it says vigilant.
I tried to, but I only...
Ouch.
We can still work. Cop discovers new species in there. I know a good guy in La Majeste, but only after the École Supérieure people find it.
It needs to be white coats and glassware for this fly. We need professional.
You're doing good here. Perhaps only quit while you're ahead? Or no?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude,
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are. The man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair, your love of retro-style dance music, how you're able to perform a 360-degree spin kick. Of course. Contact Mike.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy. Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
It is getting cold out.
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. Oh,
You, every morning, walking from void.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
it's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the
Dora something. Dora Ingelund. Yeah, you mentioned it.
not Dora Dubois.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol. God, I don't know. 6 years?
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. Or 7? You're not So have I. You bitterly dropped Dearest Dora and really tore me a new one twice a week.
The special consultant glances at his wristwatch.
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? With the bad guys.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big. Which is what...
Get back to it. We left Thorson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't...
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be...
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit.
He means it. The RCM and its enemies will not.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. But
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivachol. Faubourg, technically, but
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts.
thank you again, Lieutenant. Who is Lena? Well, good luck finding her once we...
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible.
Watch out or she'll faint.
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to... Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate. Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if...
Would fit in. And crazy enough, this truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even consider...
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the...
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a... Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price points his pen at the doctor.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?